CBS Thursday.
Keeping things dry for your Thursday, mostly cloudy skies into Marquette. We'll get a few rays of sunshine elsewhere, but we're all going to be on the cold side. Those details coming up next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, according to President Trump, talks with Iranian officials are going well, but it's too soon for new direct talks. Plus, more details on a $20 million state grant meant to boost Michigan's economy that's led to 16 felony charges. And CEOs from around the Upper Peninsula gather in Marquette to talk about the importance of UP-made products. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
And welcome in. A first look at your forecast as we're heading to the second half of the week for Thursday and Friday, which means we have Mother's Day weekend just around the corner. It is on the colder side of things. Maybe you have some early Mother's Day plans, some dinner plans, maybe a movie that you're going to see, and you need the jackets. Mid 40s, lower 50s with limited sunshine across the Upper Peninsula for tomorrow. And we're going to start out on the colder side around that freezing mark, and especially with that cloud cover moving in, just a cold day overall, but we'll talk about that Mother's Day forecast in just a few.
Kelly, thank you very much. President Trump says it's too soon for new direct talks with Iranian officials in Pakistan, but suggested today that conversations with Iran have been going well. This comes as gas prices in the U.S. climb to their highest levels since 2022. Jesse Mitchell has the latest tonight.
Seemed close.
President Trump told reporters he's had very good talks with Iran in the last day and that it's possible the two nations will soon reach a deal.
No, they want to make a deal badly, and we'll see if we get there.
The president also reiterated the U.S. has won the war.
They had an Air Force, lots of planes, and they don't have any planes. They don't have any anti-aircraft. They don't have any radar left. Their missiles are mostly decimated. They have some. They have probably 18, 19%, but not a lot by comparison to what they had. And their leaders are all dead. So I think we won.
In a social media post earlier Wednesday, the president warned Iran that bombing will start at a much higher intensity if the regime doesn't agree to a deal. Tehran said it's reviewing the latest proposal from Washington, reportedly a one-page memorandum of understanding. Axios reports provisions include Iran committing to a moratorium on nuclear enrichment and the U.S. agreeing to lift sanctions and release billions in frozen assets. This comes as hundreds of merchant ships remain backlogged in the Persian Gulf. The president said Wednesday that the oil and natural gas shipments disrupted by the conflict could soon resume. Middle East experts warn, regardless of the outcome of any peace talks, the U.S. has been hurt by the conflict.
I think it's pretty much made the U.S. Weaker. Ultimately, I don't think this has been exactly what the United States bargained for.
Globally, oil prices dropped dramatically in response to the news that Iran and the U.S. could reach an agreement, but prices at the gas pump pushed higher, according to AAA, climbing to a national average of $4.54 for a gallon of regular unleaded Wednesday.
Michigan's Attorney General has filed 16 felony charges against a Farmington Hills woman accused of misusing millions in state grant money. The case centers on a $20 million state grant where the business was never proven to be real before the money was handed out. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy explains what led to the charges.
What started as a state grant meant to attract international business to Michigan has now become one of the biggest examples yet in a debate over misuse of state funds.
She operated a criminal enterprise to use those funds for personal expenses and her own enrichment.
The Attorney General says the $20 million grant was approved by lawmakers through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. It was meant to support an international business accelerator, but investigators say they never found evidence it delivered on that goal.
This money was used illegally and inappropriately and never could have conformed with the purpose of the grant.
Nessel says investigators reviewed thousands of documents and found no sign the project attracted any companies to Michigan. She also says the structure of the grant itself makes these cases hard because it's not always clear who knew what when the money was approved.
These glass slipper grants are a dedicated appropriation referred to as a grant and modeled as such in law, written so specifically, so acutely, and in such granular detail as to whom may qualify to receive it that they could only possibly be awarded to one intended recipient.
About $6.5 million has been frozen as the case moves forward, but the Attorney General says this is about more than one defendant. It's about a lack of accountability in organizations like the MEDC and preventing future misuse.
There are other things that can be done in addition to make sure that we know that tax money is being spent as intended and is not being misappropriated.
State lawmakers have since added new disclosure and oversight rules for these types of spending deals. But Nessel says more safeguards are still needed as lawmakers face pressure to keep tightening how these grants are approved and tracked. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Founders and CEOs from every corner of the UP met tonight at the Jacobetti Center at NMU. The event showcased machines in land, air, and sea. In anticipation of the CEO Summit held tomorrow, tonight's events included officials from various businesses and organizations. One topic of the evening included challenges in the modern workforce, including overcoming employee retention and population decline. Also in attendance tonight was former State of Michigan Governor Rick Snyder and author John Bacon. Included in tonight's dinner was a showcase of air as guests saw an Enstrom helicopter land just outside the Jacobetti Center. The Menominee-based company began manufacturing helicopters after the business reopened in 2022.
We look to showcase some products that we do in the Upper Peninsula. So tonight's really exciting in terms of what we showcase. We're going to cover land, air, and sea. And really show just how special it is to make what we have to do business in.
The 5th annual CEO Summit hosted by Invest UP will begin tomorrow. Other leaders across the central Upper Peninsula came together today to tackle one of the region's biggest challenges, housing. Our own John Truitt has this report from the first ever Central Upper Peninsula Housing Solutions Summit.
It's no secret that affordable housing is becoming more and more difficult to find in the area. Today's full-day summit at NMU focused not so much on the problem, but on solutions.
We're not here to just rehash that we have a housing shortage. We've had plenty of data. We know there's a challenge, but we also know there's a lot of tools we can deploy. But we need everybody at the table. You can't just leave it to one person to solve.
The Central UP Regional Housing Solutions Summit brought together local officials, developers, financial lenders, employers, and community members, all working toward one goal, expanding housing options and affordability across the region.
There's a role for everybody to play, right? And that the housing shortage is solvable if we step up and we really tackle it. But we have to think differently. We have to build in different ways. We have to find new capital resources.
Of major concern is the availability of affordable housing. The inventory is simply not there.
We have to change the equation, because right now it is mathematically impossible to build housing that's affordable to the area median income, at least new housing, right? So if we can't build the new housing, then the question becomes, how do we unlock the existing housing?
And with new homes out of reach for many, the shortage of existing homes becomes amplified.
We then either have to build new houses, right, that can be affordable at that range, or we have to find out a way to shake out that market. The vacancy rates in all 6 counties are hovering around 1%, and a healthy vacancy rate is 3 to 5.
Organizers say no single solution will fix the housing crisis, but bringing the right people together is a critical step forward. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Today, members of the Hannahville Indian community walked in honor of their missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. Research shows that more than 84% of Indigenous women experience violence in their lifetime. Hannahville's Tribal Council says in many communities, Indigenous missing persons cases don't get the same attention from law enforcement or the media as others. Hannahville Victim Services hosts the 1 Mile Walk every year to raise awareness about the issue and to call for change.
I hope that we can be included when we say somebody's missing, that it's just not, well, wait till they come home. No, it's not that way anymore. If something happens, let's make news out of it, because somewhere somebody knows something. The more help we can get with this, it'll just help the families more to get answers.
To learn more about the resources available through Hannahville Victims Services, visit WZMQ19.com. Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast after the break. Plus, we'll have the latest on a Michigan woman who remains missing in the Bahamas. We'll be right back after this.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Did you know most of what you throw away can be recycled? At Recycle 906, we accept more than just cardboard and jugs. We take plastics, metals, paper, and more. Recycle smarter, bring it to us. See what we accept at recycle906.com.
Houghton's the spot where we get all 4 seasons, the snow, the shine, everything in between. So the shoes are everything. You know, what you have is going to help you perform better, perform longer, stay injury-free longer. Whether you're a runner, walker, or you're just looking for a shoe to get yourself through the day, we'll take an extensive approach to finding the shoe that's right for you. Whatever surface that you're going to be on, we've got you covered.
I didn't act because that's how I got paid. I act because that's how I was alive.
Thursday, the one and only Sally Field.
I remember I was doing an improv and I took my shoe off and hit this guy who I didn't like.
No, you didn't.
I was able to say, I don't know what came over me. I wasn't Gidget yet, but she lived inside me.
Inside the new film, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Plus her co-star, Louis Pullman. All new Kelly.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ CBS.
When you need a body shop, skip the corporate shops and outside investors. Go with your hometown body shop, Superior Collision. Our family opened Superior Collision in 2002, and we're still the ones who own and operate it today. Some places talk about community. We actually stand with our community, donating monthly back into Marquette County. When you need collision repair, choose Superior Collision, your local hometown body shop.
The Shortlist, a countdown show that's all sports. Only from SSN, the Cindy Sports Network.
Now, from the 19 News Forecast Center, this is WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. We have another look at your forecast, and we're going to start off with the numbers for today. And you guessed it, I know it was a cold one, so obviously below average temperatures for today for the low and the high. 41 degrees was all that we were able to get to for that high temperature in Marquette, and we should be in the upper 50s. So I understand your frustration, especially with these close proximity frost advisories and freeze warnings into Wisconsin and the Lower Peninsula. So with that being not too far away, kind of the same drill as yesterday, we have another round of a good chance of frost across the entire Upper Peninsula. When you get nights like this, like clearing skies, light winds, and of course colder temperatures, those are all the exact ingredients that frost needs to form on the ground. And even if you have an air temperature of, let's say, 36, 35, or 37, that can still have frost formation because there's a little layer just above the surface that can easily get to 32 degrees, in which the water vapor will then deposit that cold air on the ground in the form of frost. So I know we're talking about frost this late into the game, meaning coming off of winter and early spring, but this is still right on schedule. Frost can definitely happen in mid-May like this, but eventually when it gets to June and July, if we have frost advisories, you can 100% be mad at me. Send me the messages then. But make sure to bring in any of those outdoor plants that may be a bit sensitive, and that's really all we have going on for the overnight. And as for tomorrow, because it is going to be so cold tonight, we may have a few wet snowflakes or just snowflakes in general flying around in the morning. And then when we warm those temperatures up to slightly warmer than that freezing mark, it'll be in the form of raindrops, but not a major rain event, not a major snow event by any means. And things are really going to be trending dry, which is perfect for Mother's Day weekend. So even though it is going to be on the cold side of things, I guess that's a good exchange in terms of if we could pick a wet pattern to be in or cold temperatures. I would choose the cold over having to deal with a major rain system for the weekend. So trying to look at the positive side of things, but as for the winds, they'll start to diminish overnight. That's why we're seeing those cold conditions, the cold air really settle in, but the wind's not going to gust up all that strong by any means, just going to be that light breeze occasionally throughout the next few days with a few light raindrops, not accumulating to much either. Maybe a few tenths of an inch of rain at that. maybe less. Probably going to be less. With that being said, Sunday itself, Mother's Day, looking sunny, especially for Marquette, and other places will probably be on the warmer side of things, but at least into Marquette County, we're going to be stuck into the mid-40s most likely, but at least things are looking dry and things can still change, but that seems to be the pattern that we're sticking to at this moment. And this upcoming week, we'll have a few scattered showers as temperatures slowly start to rebound back to the mid-50s.
Kelly, thank you very much. Now to an update on the case of a Michigan woman who's been missing in the Bahamas for over a month. A Coast Guard memo notes it's looking for the owner of a particular boat that may have been moored next to Lynette and Brian Hooker's sailboat. Christiane Benavides reports on these new developments.
The occupants of this sailboat may have information relevant to the investigation into missing Michigan mother Lynette Hooker. That's according to this Coast Guard memo obtained by CBS News. Lynette's husband, Brian Hooker, told Bahamian police she fell out of their dinghy and was swept out to sea the evening of April 4th. Darlene Hamlet is Lynette's mother.
So what I'm hoping is that somebody can identify this boat for us, and maybe they'll have some information.
The sailboat, investigators say, was moored near the Hooker's vessel Soulmate. We spoke to Brian Hooker after Bahamian police questioned and released him from custody. He has denied any wrongdoing and has not been charged with a crime.
You want to keep looking for Lynette.
I'm going to need somebody with more authority to tell me to stop.
But just hours later, he was back in the U.S., he said, to see his ailing mother.
I'm very disappointed that he left. It says a lot to me that maybe he knows she's already dead. So I haven't heard from him.
Is it odd to you that he hasn't contacted you at all?
That he's innocent, yeah.
CBS News has learned authorities are looking beyond the dinghy route described in earlier accounts.
What was it like to sail together?
Fantastic. We're more like co-captains.
Hooker declined to talk about what happened that night, but Hamlet says the two had a rocky relationship and alleges in March her daughter tried to leave.
She says, I can't take any more, Mom. Get on a plane and come home. She says, I want my stuff. And I said, I want you. She bought a ticket, but she never came.
Brian Hooker has retained a U.S.-based attorney. We reached out to that attorney, but she hung up on us twice. CBS News has also learned that Coast Guard investigators are actively conducting interviews as they put together their findings.
A Dutch cruise ship at the center of a deadly hantavirus outbreak has left the West African island of Cape Verde bound for the Canary Islands. 3 people on board have died and at least 8 people are possibly infected. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
One of our passengers sadly passed away last night.
Cell phone video from inside the MV Hondius shows the moment the cruise ship captain informed guests that a Dutch national had died on board.
It happens at sea sometimes. Very sad, very tragic.
The passenger who shot the announcement April 12th says guests were initially told the 70-year-old died of natural causes.
I think most of the passengers are healthy. I'm just hoping them to give the necessary tests.
The man's 69-year-old wife died about 2 weeks later in South Africa after getting off the ship. Argentine officials tell the Associated Press both were likely infected with hantavirus before boarding while visiting a landfill during a bird-watching trip in Argentina.
We do believe that there may be some human-to-human transmission that's happening among the really close contacts, the husband and wife, people who've shared cabins.
Overnight, health officials in protective gear helped evacuate 3 people from the cruise suspected of having the virus. Nearly 150 other passengers remain quarantined on board.
This is one of those unusual circumstances where hantavirus is spreading from person to person.
Swiss authorities announced Wednesday that a man who previously traveled on the ship and returned home at the end of April just tested positive for the Andes strain of the disease, which can spread between humans. But the World Health Organization says the risk to the public is low.
This is a really unique one-off occurrence, and we're not expecting any further spread.
The Spanish government says the ship will dock at the Canary Islands for a full disinfection in around 3 days.
Still to come on your 19 News, Detroit will be the next team joining the Professional Women's Hockey League. We're back in 2 minutes.
The wait is over. England Furniture's quick shipping is back at Kirkish Furniture. Choose your style and fabric and receive your furniture in as little as 30 days. Browse our in-stock selection or let our staff help you customize the perfect sofa or chair. Plus, 1 year free financing and free delivery.
There's a reason why Toyota is America's best-selling retail brand. It's the quality, dependability, and reliability that you expect from Toyota. And that starts right here in the USA, where Toyota has invested over $49 billion into 11 different manufacturing plants, including the newest one, a battery plant for its electric and hybrid vehicles. There are now 13 different Toyotas built in the USA, with more on the way. America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
When you think Hard Rock, you're thinking music. But when you think Hard Rock Bet Casino app, you should be thinking rewards.
How about that? That's because on Hard Rock Bet, you get guaranteed rewards every single Thursday.
Legendary rewards, like deposit matches, bonus spins, and more for everyone on the app. Just open up the app and see what you get. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us.
New customers get up to $1,000 back in casino bonus, plus 500 bonus spins.
Amazon offers hourly employees health care for $5 a week with $5 copays.
Safety.
Should I go, Mom?
No, don't tell your mother anything.
Amazon offers hourly employees health care on day one for the whole family.
It's Aaron Spelling Sundays, featuring 4 memorable shows from the legendary Hollywood producer.
And then we'll take the car, the boat, the train, and the plane home.
The plane!
Sundays on MeTV 19.1. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. The Professional Women's Hockey League announced today their next expansion team will be Detroit. The team will debut in the 2026-2027 season and will play home games at Little Caesars Arena, which is already home to the Detroit Red Wings. This makes Detroit the 9th team in the PWHL. The league revealed PWHL Detroit's primary colors of black and silver, complemented by white as a secondary color and red as an accent. In a news release, the PWHL said the palette is distinct from any other team in the league, with the primary colors intended to evoke Detroit's innovative and industrial spirit matched with the resilient identity of Metro Detroiters. Meanwhile, the red accent is a nod to the city's celebrated sports history, in particular the Red Wings and Hockeytown's hockey stewardship in the United States for more than 100 years. The permanent brand identity, including the team's name and logo, will be announced at a later date. As with tradition in the PWHL, the team will play with their city across their jerseys for the first season. In celebration, the PWHL says Detroit will host the 2026 PWHL Awards ceremony on Tuesday, June 16th, and the 2026 PWHL Draft on Wednesday, June 17th, with the draft taking place at Fox Theater as a ticketed event open to fans. As the job market cools, more Americans are considering starting their own business. And during Small Business Week, experts say preparation is everything. Jill Schlesinger has what you need to know before making the jump.
With the job market stuck in neutral, you may be one of the many Americans deciding to bet on themselves. And Small Business Week is the perfect time to talk about what you need to know before you take the leap. First, don't blow up your financial life until you have a plan. Test the idea as a side hustle while you still have income and benefits from a full-time job. The good news? AI is dramatically reducing the cost and complexity of launching a company, so the barriers to entry are lower than ever. If your idea gains traction, know what you're giving up. When you work for yourself, you're on the hook for payroll taxes as both the employee and the employer. And you'll need to replace benefits like health, disability, and life insurance, not to mention a retirement plan. You'll also need to choose a business structure, and this decision can affect your taxes, your liability, and your ability to raise money in the future. The 3 most common are a sole proprietorship, an LLC, and an S-Corp. It's best to seek the guidance of a CPA or a certified financial planner before you decide. With over 5 million new business applications filed in the U.S. every year, it could be your turn to jump in.
Reading music is hard enough, but imagine doing it without ever seeing the page. A new program is helping level the score for blind musicians. Christiane Benavides has the story from Miami.
21-year-old Silvio Plata has been drawn to music for as long as he can remember. He lost his sight to cancer when he was just a year old.
The level of the cancer and how advanced the tumors were, there was no other option but to trade my eyes for my life.
It didn't stop him from doing what he loves, as he learned to play by ear. But when he pursued music at the collegiate level, things got more complicated.
I realized I'm going to be studying music much more rigorously, and I need to be musically literate.
That's where Jim Choi stepped in. He's developed a one-of-a-kind virtual lesson that teaches blind students how to read music through Braille.
Without the Braille, they cannot read the score. So if we want to read music, this is necessity.
It took him 8 months to build the course, with help from the nonprofit the Miami Lighthouse for the Blind. Choi worked one-on-one with Plata, helping him get more comfortable using Braille to read music.
It's 26 modules. You learn how to read a score. You start learning note value.
It led to a once-in-a-lifetime moment in 2019, when Plata performed alongside Andrea Bocelli, who visited the Miami Lighthouse to learn about their music programs.
It was so surreal. We got along very well. He went to the piano, I stood next to him, and the rest is history.
Bocelli, of course, is also blind and known for supporting those with vision loss. Plata is set to graduate from college this year, and for his next act, he'll be attending law school here at the University of Miami.
You can't always get what you want, but you can rock out to new music from the Rolling Stones. Plus, get your lightsabers ready. The latest Star Wars film is about to blast into theaters. Gwen Baumgartner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
The trailer is new, the plot is not.
Help me go home.
Fans are getting a new look at upcoming movie The Odyssey, starring Matt Damon. At CinemaCon, director Christopher Nolan described the movie as an absolute nightmare to film, but also said the crew had an amazing time doing it. The film was shot entirely on IMAX film with an estimated budget of $250 million. The Odyssey sails to cinemas July 17th. The Rolling Stones are rolling out some new music, unveiling their latest single, In the Stars. The English rockers have released more than 24 albums since their start in the 60s. The latest album is titled Foreign Tongues, teasing a musical mix of blues, country, and rock. It comes out July 10th. Pre-order is available now. The force of Star Wars fandom extends well past the annual May 4th celebrations. The cast of Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu hit in Berlin to promote the newest film of the franchise. It stars Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver. The movie hits theaters May 22nd.
Now don't go away. When we come back, Kelly Rowland will have your final look at weather. Stay tuned.
It's Mother's Day on J-Hood with Hamilton's The V Diggs.
What's the best Mother's Day gift you ever given?
Being able to rest, child.
Yeah.
Plus, 2 very famous basketball moms get special messages from their sons.
Happy Mother's Day.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 4 on WZMQ CBS. Followed by The Kelly Clarkson Show at 5 and 19 News at 6.
Planning your next trip? Start it close to home at Marquette Sawyer Regional Airport. With convenient service on American, Delta, and United, you'll enjoy flexible flight options to Chicago, Detroit, and Minneapolis with expanded United service starting in October. Save time, skip the long drive, and fly local with confidence. Book your flight today at sawyerairport.com.
Pure Outdoor is the first program dedicated to increasingly popular outdoor and eco sports. Individual and adventurous. Journey to the world's most exotic, breathtaking locations. Pure outdoor.
Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
This is extreme crime.
To catch him, they'll use every trick in the book.
We were operating against ghosts, and ghosts are tough to find.
Top investigators and police use the latest forensic science to uncover the truth and solve real cases. The devil is always in the details. Forensic Factor.
I'm Sophia Murphy at the Capitol in Lansing, only on WZMQ 19 News.
And a final check of your forecast. We know we did not see warm temperatures today, so it's really not that out of the question to get some frost that we're already going to see start to developing over the next few hours or so. We all have a good chance of that frost across the Upper Peninsula, and we might even see a few snowflakes very early in the morning. Definitely not going to see any of it accumulate, but don't be surprised if you see some of those snowflakes. And high temperatures will warm up to the mid-40s for Marquette, lower 50s very likely into Iron Mountain and towards Menominee, the southern UP. But the dry pattern continues, really not seeing a major rain system by any means, not only for the next 24 hours, extending that into 48 hours, and we'll do that right into Mother's Day weekend and into next week. It's dry, but we also have some colder temperatures to deal with. So that's the pattern that we have for your next 7 days. Make sure to get those plans set for Mother's Day. There's no weather that should have an excuse to not plan those outdoor activities. Yes, it'll be on the cold side, but at least just dress accordingly. But the cold will continue into this upcoming week.
Kelly, thank you again. And finally tonight, one of America's most recognizable vehicles is set to join an Escanaba car show later this month. Formerly the Cruising Classics Fun Run, the Ludington Street Cruise will take over the downtown on May 29th with a classic car parade. This year, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile will make a special appearance courtesy of Elmers County Market. Shaped like a hot dog on a bun, the vehicle is driven by trained hot doggers who promote the Oscar Mayer brand, hold meet and greets, and hand out wiener whistles. The Ludington Street Cruise Committee says because the Wienermobile is so iconic, it will fit right in with the other classic cars parade goers can expect to see. The Wienermobile will be parked at Elmers before the parade, and it will appear at the car show on May 30th. For more information about the Ludington Street Cruise, visit WZMQ19.com. That's all we have for tonight, everyone. We'll catch you back here tomorrow at 6/5 Central. See you then.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of